Voting isn't just going to the polls anymore on Election Day. Options like early voting, mail-in voting, and ballot drop boxes are available to more voters and are growing in popularity. How to Vote is a tool created by Democracy Works, and it breaks down the options your state offers by forecasting a ballot, empowering you to decide where and when to vote. Democracy works best when we all vote, but misinformation and confusion about election procedures have resulted in low voter turnout. How to Vote takes the guesswork out of the voting process. It is easy to use and helps folks from all over the country overcome many of the process barriers to voting. It is committed to helping you vote no matter what. You can use the How to Vote tool to sign up for election reminders, see what's on your ballot, get step-by-step assistance requesting your mail ballot, explore your options for returning your mail-in ballot, check your voter registration status, and find your local polling site, and make sure that you have an appropriate ID to bring with you. Decide when and where you'll vote this year at howto.vote.
Hello and welcome to the formal review. Today, we will be looking at the 2018 film, Creed 2. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the review.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the formal review. This is episode 21. Now before I get started, I do want to thank you guys for tuning in, and once again, I know there was a bit of a lull between the last review and this one. It's been about a month since I put a review out. Unfortunately, I had to make the transition from MoviePad to cinema, so I had to wait for my membership to kick in before I was able to start going to films again and start putting out reviews. So I apologize for that. I do thank you guys for your patience. Now before I get started, this review may have some spoilers. As always, I do my best to keep everything vague and not to ruin the movie for you. Honestly, there may be some spoilers for the first film, but hopefully you've seen that film by now. If not, I definitely would recommend going to watch. I just did a written review on Box Office Buzz. You can go check that out for my full thoughts of why I like that film so much. But if you really don't care about spoilers or anything, just keep listening. So Creed 2 is a sports drama film directed by Stephen Caple Jr. and was written by Jewel Taylor and Sylvester Stallone. It is the sequel to 2015's Creed, and it is 8th installment in the Rocky film series. It stars Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, Tessa Thompson, Dolph Lundgren, Florian Munteanu, maybe butchering that, Wood Harris, and Felicia Rashad. This film takes place 3 years after the prior film. Adonis, played by Jordan, has now become the WBC World Heavyweight Champion and a worldwide star. But for some reason, he feels a little bit underwhelmed. But he is met with a new challenge to defend his title. Victor Drago, son of the man who killed his father in the ring. This is a clearly marketable fight that obviously the media will eat up. Rocky is very hesitant to give him a fight because at this point in his career doesn't really want to fight. And while all this is going out, there's a more down-to-earth story between Bianca, played by Thompson, and Donnie. And this is kind of where the heart of this film is, because of honestly how they were set up in the prior film. When it comes to these films, one of the biggest things is obviously the story, but also really look at it, it's about the fights. And that's one thing that Creed did really well, was move these pieces together in a way that felt fresh and new. And the boxing scenes in this film, I think, are fairly decent. They're entertaining. Caple does a fairly commendable job as director. I don't think he's as good as Coogler, but I do think he does a good job. Given that this is his first big budget film, Caple does a decent job in directing this fairly, honestly, safe story. The music, I think, is fairly good. Again, by Ludwig Göransson, who did a lot of the prior film with Coogler. He did Creed, obviously. He also did Black Panther film. The acting in this film is fairly good. Honestly, the stars of this film are Jordan and Thompson, and they have a lot of chemistry because they both have their own issues that they're going through, and their relationship is one of the better relationships in the entire Rocky series. You're not going into it thinking that there's going to be a powerful romance. You see where Bianca is struggling with being that supportive partner to Donnie, but she's also has her own issues that she's going through, and she needs some support from him. Both the performances by Jordan and Thompson are fantastic. There's one scene in this Jordan even taps into the character more so than he did in Creed. One scene in the hospital that they're not even talking to each other, and for those people who have seen the film, I know what scene I'm talking about, that really honestly brings them into these characters in such a powerful way. And their relationship is the center part of this film and makes this film enjoyable despite some of the flaws that I'll get into in a little bit. Stallone here is serviceable as Rock, as he's always been. Now, I don't think this film is as good as his portrayal in the last. Felicia Rashad moments in this are fantastic once again. She pulls out a more stronger role here and in the first one. She keeps that stern but supportive role as Donnie's adopted mother. I think the Dragos are portrayed fairly well. I think this film has a lot of love put into it. It's similar to the first one in that it's clearly a love letter written to the Rocky series. While it does continue the stories from the first film, it doesn't really do anything new. It's honestly fairly safe. Even with some of the great things, it's really honestly a culmination of a lot of different Rocky films. Obviously, you have Rocky 4 put in. There's a little bit of even Rocky 5 put into this. It honestly falls in sequelitis. It takes the Creed story and it makes it bigger, louder, and more grandiose. That for most viewers, that is satisfiable. However, this film honestly seems like someone said, before Creed was made, said we wanted to take the son of Creed and have him fight the son of Drago because of the drama between them. Luckily, Coogler stepped in and changed that a little bit. He took a story that's within the Rocky universe and made it his own. That movie stands alone aside from the Rockiness, and that's why it made it so great. Now, this film doesn't. There's a lot of reliance on previous films. A lot of the music is a lot of rehash that the other film didn't use. It didn't depend on it, and that's why I think that film succeeded so well. There's a lot of connection to the prior films. That's fine for a sequel, but this was more of a sequel to the Rocky films as much as it was to the Creed films. If it was just a sequel for the Creed film, it'd be okay. Since it did a lot of dialing back, hopefully going forward to Creed 3. Sylvester Stallone has apparently said that Creed 2 is his last film as the character. So we may not see Rocky, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. But overall, like I said, this film is a fairly entertaining movie that definitely has a lot of positives going for it. It's entertaining, and honestly, it's a fairly successful sequel. It furthers the characters very well. I will be buying it on Blu-ray when it comes out. I would rate this film a 4 out of 5 bow tie. Now, what did you think of the film? How do you think it compares to the last film and also the other Rocky films? I'm on social media. You can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. The URL is all the same. It's at The Formal Review. I also do retrospective reviews on Box Office Budget. You check them out, especially the one that I just did on Creed. And I do want to thank you guys for supporting me. I do see you guys listening. I really appreciate everything. I definitely want to shout out all those who have supported me financially speaking. It definitely keeps me going. See you guys how you support. If you guys want, go to anchor.fm/the-formal-review and click on support this podcast. I do appreciate any support. I have a lot of good ideas hopefully coming in the next few months. But at the end of the day, I do appreciate you tuning in every single time, talking on social media. It's a lot of fun. I get a lot out of it. If you guys have any suggestions how I can improve or grow, if you guys want to hear, let me know. I'm always open to new things. So you never miss an episode. You can always subscribe on favorite podcast service. I'm on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can normally hear podcasts, you'll find us. So mostly the review, let me know how I'm doing. As with all reviews, there is music in the background from the film to bring attention to the soundtrack, and because it is a big part of the film that a lot of people don't take into account. I don't claim the rights to these. Now, today's music was composed by Ludwig Göransson on the Creed 2 original motion picture soundtrack, released by Sony Music Entertainment on November 16, 2018. Until next time, I'll see you at the movies. Take care, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Formal Review. We hope you'll join us again.